Hello everyone, it's Automobile here, and I just want to make this video to share my quick thoughts on the upcoming patch 6.9, the big mage changes, specifically focusing on the items. And now, before I get started, you may be thinking to yourself, but Automobile, you're just a nobody. Why would I listen to your thoughts when I could, go find the pros' opinions? Okay, moving right along. So I want to group the items into two groups, so like impactful and non-impactful changes. And I'll go over the non-impactful ones first, just to give a good idea of what's going to pretty much stay the same as in the current patch right now. And then afterwards I'll mention the bigger changes, including the new items that they're making and what they might imply. So bear in mind that these are all just like theoretical ideas. I don't have the chance to try them on the PBE, so I might be completely wrong in all of my impressions, but we'll see. So first things first, just mages across the board getting a nice buff because an indirect buff with the nerf of the godly MR items, Spear Visage and Spectre's Cowl. So that's pretty nice. Those Maokais are going to feel slightly less immortal, but only slightly. So the item changes, the items that I feel haven't changed very much, Morello's, Morellonomicon, and like Tear of the Goddess, including Archangels as well. Tear is going to be good on champions that it's already been good on. Any champion that can stack it quick enough, so with like quick spammable spells. Otherwise, you won't be able to get Seraphs quickly, and you won't have that early impact. Morello's, however, got changed a little. It still looks like it's a great option. Honestly, probably everyone who bought it before still buys it. They took out the mana regen and they added flat mana, and they also added Athene's old passive, Athene's Holy Grail. So, and it still comes with Grievous Wounds. It's a little bit more expensive, but it also gives more AP. It's pretty much the same item. Rot of Ages is getting a relatively bigger change. It costs less overall, and the build path is actually nicer now. It builds out of Catalyst and a large rod instead of Blasting Wand, and it has a really little recipe cost. Has less AP overall, but I think the most notable change is that after you're done stacking it, it has 300 less total mana. So, which means basically it's less powerful when you combine it, the classic Archangels and Rod of Ages combo. Let's see, Zanya's is going to be cheaper, 500 gold cheaper, I believe, and it has 10% CDR now, but it has much less AP overall to compensate. And also the cooldown is going to be a lot longer. I think it's like 30 seconds longer. So it's pretty big. But I think anyone who does really well with Zanya's should, warm up to this change. And those champions should be seen more in the future. Probably stronger. So yeah, Abyssal Scepter is no longer like a catch-all mage item. You're gonna see, you're not gonna see it every single game with every mid laner getting it anymore. So what they did, they changed it. It gives CDR now, which is nice. And it gives more MR now at the cost of less AP. So pretty bad trade-off for mages. Like that's better for more tanky mages, but mages aren't really, they don't prioritize the MR rather than the AP. You don't want that kind of trade-off. And here's the most important part, though, is that the MR reduction aura scales as the game goes on, or as you level up. So it's like way weaker early game, and it's going to be a little bit stronger later, but pretty similar to what it is now in the late game. And with that aura, though, another important part is that the aura doesn't affect minions anymore. So it's actually going to be way worse for wave clearing, and I think that's going to hurt mages too much, and not many people are going to be building it anymore. Okay, so let's move on to the more, like the bigger changes, more substantial ones. So I'll start with Athenes. Athenes is pretty much now exclusively support. This includes like, mid lane supports. So what it does is it benefits champions with shields or heals, right? So you're going to look at like a supportive mid laner like Lulu, Karma, Orianna, but other than that, I can't see anyone else really getting it. I think it's too expensive an option to actually consider on like bot lane supports. So we'll see if the heal is strong enough to be viable on those, mid lane supporty kind of heroes. It doesn't really give very much AP anymore, I think. Anyways, we'll have to see how good the heal is. And okay, so finally, gonna look at the 2 new hex tech items. So there are 2 new actives, which is, in my opinion, a great thing. I think actives are always a great addition to the game. You could always use more, but not like those busted ass ghosties though. I think we could stay away from those. Those were so annoying. So right off the bat, we see that both items build out of health components. So these items aren't purely offensive options. They have a little defensive in them. So we'll see who really likes that in their build paths. And they also both build out of the new Gunblade. So depending on whether that new Gunblade is going to be strong in the mid game is going to heavily influence on how good these items build paths are, and how good they feel to build. Excuse me. So first one, the first item builds out of Catalyst, and the active is kind of like a Ash Volley kind of active. So a cone, and I think it slows. And immediately I just kind of think, good on control mages, builds out a Catalyst, so it's going to give you a kind of tanky, some like bulky factor, not very much AP, but more like, it's basically for the active, and the active's good in a control sense. You slow people, you dictate the pace of a sort of skirmish or a fight. It has low cooldown, so you can use it pretty often. I think it's 30 seconds. And I'll move to the more like maybe impactful one that kind of looks cooler, but honestly, okay, so let's get into it. It's the Proto Belts, I believe, as the active is a mini dash, right? So if anyone played Dota or whatever, Force Staff. Anyways, regardless, it's pretty much like a small dash. I think it's like 250 range, so pretty short, like half flash distance, I believe. Yeah, it looks really short, but essentially I can see it being good on any type of like initiation heavy champions. So just to list off a couple off the top of my mind, like Annie, I think it'd be fine. You dash a little bit and then flash Tibbers or something, or just dash Tibbers, like that might work out. Kennen, Ian, ult, dash, pretty good. Galio, same thing. Lissandra I can see being pretty good, with the ult, catch people out. Diana, maybe you get Q in range for your Q, and then ult. TF for the gold card, I think that's a pretty solid list. What else about the item? Oh yeah, I think it says it doesn't go through walls, but does that mean will it go through Jarvan ult? If I know anything about League of Legends, then of course it will. It's also good for dodging like important skill shots, I think. Might be useful. So like Morgana and Lux bindings. Possibly Leona ults, I think. Maybe even Malphite ult, you got those godly mechanics. I don't know how fast the dash is going to be though, so I think that's going to determine whether or not. And it might be good against Lee Sin too. So he Qs into you, tries to get the insect, flashes behind, but then you dash into him and he kicks you the wrong way. That might be really helpful. Also good for breaking tethers like Karma's tether, LeBlanc's tether, and even Nocturne's Fear. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys have any other ideas for what this could be used for, then feel free to leave a comment below. Tell me what you think of my thoughts, I guess. And yeah, see you guys next time.